about crashes, jolly tars and our men. That's right, we'll always be ready. Steady, boys, steady.
Steady.
We'll fight and we'll conquer.
We'll conquer.
Again.
I'm not late. Ah! Ah! Low ceiling. Fuck my head. Not literally. I want the ceiling raised by 2 feet. All of them. Greetings, gentle viewers. Series 4 is coming to an end. So, as per tradition, it's the 4th time. I'm sure it counts as a tradition by now. A kids' movie! Oh, how will I handle a movie without the possibility of murder, sex, and gambling? Simple, I look at Blackbeards Ghost. Yes, Blackbeards Ghost, deep in the Dean Joneses and everything live-action we do era of Disney. A tale of an undead rapist and murderer teaching a morally upright man to cheat at gambling in order to defeat some gangsters and win the heart of a sexual masochist. Enjoy your kids' movie. We open on a slow crawl. This was made in the years before Star Wars, and the movie crawl discovered the third dimension. The mix of the storm footage and music is weirdly effective. I am so glad this isn't an IMAX film. The crawl tells us some information about Blackbeard and ends with him dying. And then we have this. Well, yes, he had. Just not forever. And naming the film Blackbeard's Ghost, and then reminding us of the title just after asking that, you're fucking destroying any suspense that you might have accidentally managed to build. I hate credits at the start of films. I hate them. And I'm well aware that my intro was so long that you could explain the full story to War and Peace during and have time left over.
What you reading?
War and Peace.
What's it about?
Well, they fight and then they stop.
Anyway, this sea is a lot less interesting without the storm. Fast forward it. I just prefer credits at the end, where I can fucking ignore them if I so choose. Which I usually so choose. By the way, if you so choose to stay to the end of my credits, you can usually find out what's next on my list to review. I do like one of this movie's credits, though. Somebody give that man an award for the most appropriately named pirate movie director ever!
I'm afraid he's dead, mistress.
He's dead?
Yeah, he's dead.
Ah. Dig him up then.
Okay, I'll go get my rake.
Like I mentioned earlier, there was a short-lived constitutional amendment in the 1960s that said if Disney were making a live-action movie, then Dean Jones had to be involved. I'm semi-convinced that the only reason he took the villain role in Beethoven was to get revenge on all the fucking animals he had to star with years beforehand. As in, yes, he really wanted to kill them. Dean Jones is the new track coach at Godolphin College. I won't tell you the name of the character he's playing because we both know I'm just going to call him Dean Jones anyway. And I'm fairly sure there's no Godolphin College in the real world either. At a petrol station, he meets up with the track team captain, the hilariously weak shot putter.
Can you give me a hand, Coach?
Yeah.
Say, what is your event, Larkin?
Oh, I'm the shot putter, sir.
Shot putter. Well, the weight man's usually the strongest man on the team.
Yes, sir.
Together they drive to Blackbeards Inn, where Jones is staying, driving through the beautiful rear projection studio wilderness of rural South Virginia, Massachusetts. Why is the team captain going? Well, having done his job for this part of the film and given Dean Jones some information, he wants to score.
Wait till you meet the little old ladies who run the inn.
Giggity giggity, giggity goo.
They're all descendants of Blackbeard's bloody crew, and they're proud of it.
And other people too, I hope, where shit's really got complicated. There's a special event on that night to try and save the inn, because a local gangster and proud owner of a porn star named Silky Seymour has bought the mortgage and wants to tear down the inn and build a casino on the location. I'm wondering why this hasn't been declared a local landmark. A little town like this, a fine 300-year-old matte painting like that, you could build a town's entire identity on something like this. Of course, we later discover that the other businesses in town are equally sea and pirate themed, so they did build the entire town's identity on this. They just don't give a shit about the thing that they built it on. Imagine in Salem there was a magic shop that was built by actual witches, and you can imagine the sort of attention this place should logically be getting. And then someone buys the mortgage to the magic shop and wants to replace it with a Taco Bell or something. And because my research into Salem goes as far as knowing there's a difference between Salem City and Salem Village, now called Danvers, I'm now expecting someone to tell me that they did in fact tear down a magic shop built by actual witches in order to make a fucking Taco Bell. And no wonder they can't keep up with their mortgage. They built their inn in a fucking film studio. The rent must be massive. Not to mention the cost of all that fake grass. Dean meets up with the dean of the local college and the coach of the football team, who's not called Dean, but because everyone else is, I'll just run with it. Dean's a dick to Dean, and Dean doesn't care much for Dean or Dean, and Dean decides to do his best with the team, who are all called Dean. The coach is a dick, but for some reason the film seems to think that he's a villain. So I'm semi-convinced there's an entire subplot about him that was cut out in editing. I'll talk about that as we go. Finally, Dean heads in to try and get access to his room. Unfortunately, the supreme little old lady of the inn is, lovably eccentric.
I believe a room was arranged for me here through the college. You know, living accommodations?
We accommodate the living, but who shall accommodate the dead?
He's called Baron Henry Frankenstein, and you were in a movie with him in 1935. This is Elsa Lanchester, more famous for looking like this. And I'm fairly sure she went insane because he was her only customer all night. He eventually gives up and commits a slight faux pas.
Hi.
Hey, what's the big idea?
Well, kisses, $1, right?
Well, I don't work here.
Ha! That's called accidental sexual assault. So Dean kisses the actual $1 kiss woman and she gets jealous.
How would you like to try the $5 special?
$5 special.
Ha! That's called fucked up. Seriously, she enjoyed the accidental sexual assault so much she got jealous that he kissed someone else. And this is only the start of her fucking issues about fucking. The little old ladies hold an auction to help with the money raising. The first item for sale is an antique pistol. You were in the movie? You were in the fucking movie? You fucking traitor! Minion, come here!
Yes, mistress?
I want you to take this traitor and give it the same that is given to all traitors! Shoot it!
With what?
I don't think this is working.
I think the mistress might have a concussion.
Why is that camera staring at me? So, because it's a movie, the guy who wants to land, obvious mafia guy and star of over 300 adult movies, Silky Seymour, orders his equally obvious mafia guys, though not as proficient adult film actors, into the crowd to convince people not to buy anything. Usual mafia guys would use their imaginations and threaten the people, but these guys aren't usual mafia guys. Oh no, these guys are very lazy.
Number 2.
You got taken, buddy. This is a fake.
You mean the warming pan is fake, too?
That's tourist junk. And Mr. Seymour don't like to see you throw your money away.
So, just how blatant can this go? The old ladies who work here know the bidders. By name. These guys just swarmed in and acted like unsubtle stereotypes. Without obvious threats, this makes no fucking sense. Anyway, because Dean Jones worked for Disney for years and therefore fears neither man nor God, he gets into a bidding war with the football coach. Again, the film seems to think that he's some sort of a villain, and Dean Jones wins a warming pan to impress the black-haired woman who fell in love with him on the strength of accidental sexual assault.
Say, why is Mr. Seymour so anxious to get his hands on this property anyway?
Well, here, I'll show you on the map.
Seymour wants the land because a storm rerouted the river and the island might be legally in one area or another and it's never been really established. So he figures he'll take advantage of it and build a massive casino. I see a slight problem with this. They say the issue is unsolved, but that's not to say it's unsolvable. Surely if you plan to take advantage of a loophole and build a casino which seems to be illegal, then surely the people will suddenly have a reason to work out the legality of it all. Why not pay lawyers to deal with the loophole and make it permanent before pouring a fuckload of money into this? Because if they decide against you, then you're fucked. And lastly, if he wants to circumvent gambling laws, then why does he already own a casino/restaurant in the town? At best, he's going to be competition for himself. Even if this plan does make sense, and I'm not saying it does or it doesn't, it's way too fucking complicated for children.
I'm going to put you in his room. I'm sure he won't mind.
He?
Captain Blackbeard.
Oh.
Oh, the captain used to stand here for hours with his spyglass, studying the ships moving in and out. He'd pick out the one he liked. Then he'd come here to this very table. And with his men, he'd plan how to seize it.
Yes, Blackbeard took time off from being a pirate to build an inn. And then he stayed there. Isn't one of the plus points of having a pirate ship that you don't need to stay in an area too long, because people want to find you and kill you? This is fast turning into Bone Kickers, the Disney years. With Elsa Lanchester as Magwile, Dean Jones as Adrian Lester, Peter Ustinov as Hugh Bonneville, 60s Terry Hatcher as Guga Mabatha Raw, and, I don't know, this barman as Daniel Mastiff. Anyway, Blackbeard's wife Alditha was a witch, and Blackbeard told the authorities about her and they had her burned at the stake, and the guys who wrote this, have any of you got any fucking idea what a pirate actually does? Here's a clue, it's not talk to the authorities. Though she was his 10th wife out of 11. I can understand wanting to see her burned purely on principle. Fucker was probably irritating with stupidly gelled hair instead of Lonzy too much.
Oh, no.
Inside the warming pan, Dean finds Alditha's spellbook.
Alditha teach. Well, so the thing did belong to her. A spell to turn your enemy into a spotted toad. A spell to turn mercury into gold.
It's a pity he doesn't remember that these spells exist later on, and... Why is that camera turning into a cyclops? He has a spell that can turn mercury into gold. The little old ladies here could really do with a spell like that. They need $38,000, which in 60s money was probably something like $38,000. Oh well, it's not like these spells work anyway.
Virgo, Geba, Calto, Cree.
Oh wait, God no likey black magic, Dean.
Curses. Pirates. Malarkey. Blackbeard himself was a phony. He was probably some chicken-livered little pipsqueak that built up a reputation scaring old women and children.
A remark spoke slighting like that could raise a man's blood now.
Been on the road since 5 o'clock this morning, and this time. Nothing to eat? Mrs. Stowcroft gassed me up with pirate stories. I'm all right, I'm just tired.
There's more about a lack of gravy than of grave. About you. So the spirit of Blackbeard's been brought to Dean Jones's eyes and ears only. And they get at least part of his personality right. He happily claims to have keel-hauled some of his wives to entertain his men, while the real-life Blackbeard was known to play tricks that involved shooting or setting his men on fire. So, well played, Disney. But is the proper way to treat a man who thinks it's hilarious to murder strangers, friends, and loved ones as loud comic relief? Just imagine the movie School of Rock, but you knew for a fact that Jack Black was playing a real guy, who raped the kids in the class because he thought it'd be hilarious. And they had veiled, or not at all veiled mentions of it in the dialogue. Admittedly, the film is suddenly made much more interesting, but you can see why this is a weird thing to do in a kids' movie. They could have created a fictional pirate, but they didn't. They could have neutered Blackbeard and claimed he didn't do the horrible shit that he really did in real life, but they didn't. They're portraying him as a kid-friendly character, but they're keeping the shit he really did just off screen. It's very distracting.
We're stuck with one another, you and I. The cruise may well be a long one, so you'd better make the best of it. And I take this opportunity of bidding you a very good night.
And why the hell does a ghost need to sleep?
Mistress, what are you doing?
I'm not looking at that thing again until it stops being a centipede.
It's just the camera, mistress.
It was looking at me.
Go get the doctor.
Okay.
Again, why does a ghost need to sleep?
Oh, well then, welcome aboard, and drop your hook.
And based on the research I did for this review, which was pretty much this, and this, drop your hook is obviously a euphemism for something.
That is it. That is absolutely it. Figment of my imagination, or no figment, he can have his room, he can have his bed. For a while there, I almost believed there was a pirate. Oh, no.
So, like Creepy Watson in that Sherlock Holmes game, it seems that Blackbeard can teleport right beside Dean Jones. Blackbeard decides to have a go at controlling this amazing contraption that, frankly, he should have been able to check out in the few hundred years he was tangible but unable to be seen or heard by anyone. He knows the music and lyrics to Heart of Oak, which was written 30 years after his death. He's not been unconscious all the time he's been dead. And in his excitement to try and take control, he manages to accidentally hit the camera shot speed control.
You're gonna kill us, you idiot! Take your hands off the spokes or I'll bend a marlin spike round your lobe. It's my chance. Hands off the wheel. What the hell, Dennis? I'll sing sour and master. No. Come on, you lover! Get in, policeman!
Your driver's license, please.
So the nice cop doesn't hold it against Dean Jones that from his point of view, Dean Jones just tried to kill him. But after finding the open bottle of rum, which Blackbeard then destroys, he decides to give him a ticket.
No! Don't do it!
There's no need for you to get emotional about this. You've had the fun. Now you can take the consequences.
However, after Blackbeard destroys his notebook, fires his gun and nearly runs him over with a motorcycle, then Dean Jones ends up in jail. What the fuck has he been arrested for? Either the Mutant Registration Act recently came into effect and telekinesis is now a crime, or someone's going to read the cop's report and send him to a mental hospital.
Hey, care for a drench, son? It'll brighten your scan.
Right now I'm thinking that the only reason he teleports to Dean Jones with the rum is because every single fucking time he's off camera we know he's raping someone. With the bottle. Damn, this is hot.
I have some news about the doctor. HR says he's not real, so it might be difficult to find the TARDIS.
A real medical doctor.
I suppose that makes more sense, doesn't it?
Dean Jones and Blackbeard talk about how Blackbeard doesn't have a buried treasure, how he spent all of the gold that he captured. Another unexpected piece of accuracy. But it's just there because if he had a treasure, then the main plot wouldn't go anywhere.
Do you realize people have been searching for that treasure for over 2 centuries? Huh? Poor, unfortunate souls grubbing and digging in the dirt?
Yes, and it's hilarious. And I have no idea why I was terrified of you, you 12-headed, ironclad ferret of death. No!
Well, I spent it all in 1 week. Among the flesh pots and gambling hells of Port Royal. Oh, it was a glorious week, that was.
You know what you are. You are a 100% total loss. You're not even a respectable ghost. You're a phony.
Hey, you know who lives in this house? A great big phony!
I'm here. What's wrong?
Well, the mistress hit her head on the way to the review room and then started acting strange.
Strange? How?
Well, that.
It's gonna get me, 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 it's gonna get me.
She's suffering energy. I have an idea, but I'm gonna need your okay.
Well, do what you need to do, Doctor.
I'm not cleared to work on the mistress. If it goes wrong, you're going to suffer the consequences.
Do what you need to do!
Okay.
You are a 100% total loss. You're not even a respectable ghost. You're a phony.
Right?
A phony.
You know, a pirate not acting like you expect a pirate to act doesn't automatically make him a phony. It means that your information was probably inaccurate, and whoever did that, give yourself a commendation and then shoot yourself in the head.
No! You are so young, yet still beautiful.
Anyway, they let Dean Jones out of the jail because, well, there's a million reasons. Choose one. We finally get to the legendarily bad track team, and there's not enough wah 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 wah. There's an entire track team made up of trombonists to handle all the unfunny crap that happens in this scene. Nice they gave Henry Kissinger a job, though. This is a big part of why I'm convinced there's a deleted subplot explaining the football coach's seeming villainy. The football team is so good and this team is so bad that he must be using some sort of an evil crapness ray. Yes, that's the technical term. To harvest the skill and physical ability of this team and give them to his team. Probably while being aided by the cursed spirit of Captain Kidd. I'm guessing in the end he hopes to destroy Sao Paulo with an army of crap track teams.
You know where I've been? I've been in Godolphin town, roaming the streets and shores of my young manhood.
Seeing as Blackbeard's from England, I'm going to assume he's just very, 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 very drunk. In town he heard that you could get odds of 50-1 for the Godolphin College team to win the local track competition against the 3 local Ubermensch colleges. So he suggests that they bet money on the track competition and then cheat. Okay, is this an actual thing in America? I mean, is gambling on college track events big money? Because that's just sad. I know the UK is university boat races, but you can throw crap at the people who do that. Anyway, Dean Jones is too honourable to cheat and instead just argues with Blackbeard.
You see? There he goes again.
Indeed, a mime is a terrible thing to waste. Anyway, while she's turned on by accidental sexual assault, she finds seeming insanity irresistible, so she's invited Dean Jones out for dinner in the most expensive restaurant in town. A restaurant that's owned by Silky Seymour that's also part casino. How many fucking casinos does he think a small, pirate-obsessed little town could support? And I think I'm just going to put her issues down to her hair looking vaguely like a headdress of some sort.
You see, it started the night of the auction. I sat down on the bed to remove my shoes. I was tired. I wasn't paying too much attention to what I was doing, and I sat right down on that antique bed warmer. I broke the handle right off.
Oh, well, you mustn't let that bother you.
No, it wasn't that.
Oh, no, I think I have the address of a little shop down on Main Street where we could get
No,
it
Professor,
fixed.
wait a minute. Wow.
What's the matter?
Aren't you afraid to carry all that around with you?
Well, now she is. That money belongs to the little old ladies who run the inn. I'm not sure why she has it, but fuck it. Blackbeard steals the money, puts a bet down on Godolphin to win, and generally causes trouble.
Sorry about the ice cream, madame.
Tithead. Okay, funny trouble.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Mel Willis here, and welcome to Sports Spectacular, coming to you this week from Broxton Field, home of the famous national track and field event, the Broxton Invitational Relays.
I want you to look at this event not as an ordinary track meet, but as a preparation for life.
Spartans never retreat. Spartans never surrender. Ready your breakfast and eat hearty. But tonight, we dine in hell!
Let's go.
Oh, pardon me, Professor. So she's come to tell Dean Jones that she knows all about the bet because Blackbeard put the slip back into her handbag. And she thinks Dean Jones did it, even though he was with her the entire fucking time. She clearly knows that her attraction to insane accidental sexual assaulters is wrong and so hates herself and won't let herself be happy, so she needs to accuse the man she loves of doing shit that she knows he couldn't possibly have done. Bitch, be fucked up. So to help them win the money, Blackbeard helps Godolphin by cheating, but how the fuck does he know all these events?
What was that?
Unusual jumping style there.
Probably something like this, but in a much better film.
I know. Long jumping.
Show me.
I hate the Matrix. Fuck you all. Across the grounds, the masochist talks to Seymour about cancelling the bet, and jeez, I just noticed it's like a very young James Garner playing Howard Stark. He tells her to fuck off, only with more Disney magic.
But look at those poor old ladies. What's going to happen to them? You know they have nowhere to go.
Oh, Mavis, is it our shot yet? Not yet. I want to get this looking pathetic thing over and done with. I have a new bathing suit to try on.
Why are those little old ladies watching the events anyway? They're not in Godolphin town! Maybe she told them about the bet.
How do they know about this?
Of course not. I wouldn't dare raise false hopes.
Okay, girls, now's the time. Look pathetic. I'm so sad. Sad, sad, sad. Oh, I think we may have missed it. Fuck.
So again he tells her to fuck off, but with more 1960s-ness. Of course, if it was a 1960s British kids movie, he'd rape her, tell her to fuck off, and get stabbed by a British guy with a sword, who'd then bitch about the decade he was in.
I know your sort.
A liar, a murderer, a criminal, a thief, a rapist, like you mean? Seymour is really no worse than Blackbeard. He could be better, actually. We don't know for a fact that Seymour killed anyone. We get plenty of inference, but no solid proof. In a way, I almost wish Seymour would be cursed, and then we could get a sequel set in another 250 years where Seymour has to help a crapped softball team win a league and fuck over an evil alien cyborg.
Just a moment. Here's the final lap of the mile run coming round now. All over here. We need these, of course, but just for a moment there, it looked as though they were running backward. They are.
Shocking, but the bigger news is, why has Marty McFly been sent back in time to win that race?
This mean war!
Shot Put is up next, so enjoy Blackbeard's physically impossible cheating. Either Blackbeard moved his arm a second before the guy threw, or everyone else in that scene is 3 foot tall. I'm going with the latter. The Godolphin shot putter is the guy from the petrol station at the start of the movie, like he said he was. Now, normally I wouldn't point out the lack of a continuity issue, but boy, there's a huge continuity fuck-up coming with him later on.
Seems to be coming this way. Possibly.
I know you. I walked with you once upon a dream.
So, because he hates winning, Dean Jones yells at Blackbeard to stop. And as usual for a man who's his own boss and a man who killed people for the lols, he sulks while Godolphin gets back to doing what they're good at. Losing. This time it's the relay.
Well, folks, it's just about all over but the shouting. Middle of the second lap, Broxton is already half a lap ahead of Godolphin.
Do we win something for 4th place?
I'm afraid not.
Within seconds, Dean Jones decides that cheating is great and screams at Blackbeard to help. And you know, I think he might actually be insane because he constantly forgets that no one else can see or hear Blackbeard. In a way, Blackbeard helps because, frankly, I think it's because he worked out that the Coca-Cola he was drinking wasn't alcoholic. He wins the day by replacing the other team's batons with various hilarious items. And finally, by carrying the last Godolphin relay man over the finish line. And hey, check it out. It's the shot putter from the petrol station. I am so glad I came prepared with this clip.
Let's see now, Captain. I'd guess you were a sprinter, huh?
Well, I know, sir. I'm as slow as molasses in January.
So they win, celebrate, happiness, etc. Now, since we're almost an hour and 20 minutes in, this is where most Disney movies would end, but we go for another 25 minutes because Silky welched on the bet. Of course, this could be because they thought that showing the heroes cheating to win wasn't sending a good message for the children.
He just laughed and said he wasn't going to pay off.
Now, seeing as the little old ladies have only a few hours to pay the money for the inn, I have to wonder why he's deliberately doing something that sounds pretty illegal, when he could just make up some bullshit excuse about needing a few days to get the money. But no, he needs to be reinforced as the clear, unambiguous villain, even though he's not actually any worse than Blackbeard. And yes, he's still possibly better. Anyway, time for singing.
Beat Dakotas! Drummer boy.
His name was Freeman, and he was a dirty demon, and he fed the crew on minstrel stew and Hyman's fried and seaman, and the ship's dog was called Rover, and we turned the poor thing over and ground that faithful hound from Tenerife to Dover.
Wait! I'm not letting you go to that place alone!
When we reached our station, through skillful navigation, the ship got sunk in a wave of spunk from too much fornication. On the good ship Venus, by Christ you should have seen us. The figurehead was a whore in bed, sucking a dead man's penis.
Typical. This cameo's too short.
Mr. Seymour don't want to see...
Excuse me! Now, what can I do for you?
He's not at all worried because he has men, though I have to say they'd be much more terrifying if one wasn't clearly Arn Darvin from The Trouble with Tribbles. And this one looks like Matthew Graham. Maybe he's a decoy and Seymour hopes that his enemies will be so overcome with rage at remembering bone kickers that they go for him first. Talk, 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 and they end up in the casino-y part of the restaurant with about 30 minutes to win the $38,000 at roulette. Of course, to win the money, they cheat. And if this extra bit was added because they didn't want the children to see the heroes win through cheating, then they kind of fucked up. A bit. And this guy won't have a job for long. He takes his eyes off the board, and when he looks back, the chips have moved. It's called They're Moving the Chips When You're Not Looking, dickhead. Thankfully, they start to do the much more sensible grab hold of the ball method of cheating, when the other guy appears, and of course, they cheat back.
Scurvy cheat.
I've come up with a new name for this film. Cheaters, cheating cheaters, cheating cheaters, cheating cheaters, cheating cheaters, cheating cheaters. The movie. Little known fact, pirates know all about electricity and can manipulate someone's trouser leg without their knowledge. It's a gift. Blackbeard might have killed that guy, so Seymour's not happy with them escaping with the money. Blackbeard steals his man's guns and...
All right, boys, make your play. Missed me.
This is amusing comedy. Dean Jones and the Jackie O stand and steal a boat, because why stop with the moral ambiguity now? We're only a few minutes from the end. And Blackbeard beats the fuck out of Seymour's men. Some of the shots where he's invisible look frighteningly like how Predator might look if it was a kid's movie. Made in 1968. With gangsters. And why is it in movies that the heroes often totally beat the shit out of the lackeys but leave the main villain relatively unscathed? These guys get punched, thrown around, have paintings broken over their heads, and all Seymour gets is a roulette-based groin attack and raised by his fucking tie, which should be garroting him, but kind of fucking isn't.
Any idea who we're fighting?
It ain't who I'm worried about. It's what?
At least it wasn't a tribble.
According to the terms of this document, unless you produce the required payment at midnight of this date, which is just 11 seconds from now, 8, 7,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you, Mr. Ainsworth. It's a pleasure to do business with you.
So the inn is saved, hurrah and all that, and Dean Jones now has everyone meet their benefactor. Apparently he had to wait till the end of the film to prove that he's not fucking insane.
Ladies, all of you repeat after me, please. You too.
Not a woman!
Easy.
Gentlemen,
Not a woman!
meet Lud.
Cree Crew.
Cree Crew.
Vergo Geba.
Vergo Geba.
Calto Cree.
Caldo Cree.
What we can't see is that because of chaos theory, over in the UK an army of armour has been created and it's standing and waiting for a Nazi invasion that will never come. So the fact that this spell can seemingly be done an infinite amount of times means that Blackbeard has the ability to be seen and heard by everyone. It would just take a lot of time. Which he has in spades. For someone that the film thinks wouldn't create loopholes in her magic.
If it's Aldetha laid that spell, you can mark it a good one. Without no loophole.
Aldetha left a massive fucking loophole. Exactly. What was stopping Blackbeard from manipulating everyone on the planet to reading it out loud and becoming an immortal super pirate? Anyway, they do their hellos and goodbyes, and even though there's only moments until Blackbeard's going to be allowed to rest in peace, they get time for insinuated, incestful, gerontophilic necrophilia, which is always nice. And Blackbeard's off to rest in peace by joining his crew on a ghost ship. Which on the surface sounds good, but the only in-ship entertainment he had when he was alive was killing random members of his crew. He's gonna have to take up charades or something. That was Blackbeard's Ghost. So, what did I think? It has plot holes you could drive a Mack truck through. It's complicated and stupid, but it's really nice seeing Disney attempt to be a little bit more adult, even if it's pretty much limited to off-screen murder and a villain plan that may or may not actually make sense. The moral is a bit weird too. Cheating for the greater good is okay, as long as the guy you're cheating is a bigger cheat than you and eventually cheats you out of your cheated earnings. Then it's okay to cheat him back to get them back again. And beat his men up. It sounds like a kid's version of objectivism. I can't think of any of the actors who were terrible or even that bad. It was solid throughout. It's a good kids movie, even if a lot of stuff is going to fly right over their heads. Or mine too, because I'm still fairly convinced there's a deleted subplot about the villainous coach. I'm the Amanda Hagen, and I have to live with that every day.